Now that you've written your book, what else can you do to gain more exposure to get you in different rooms? Your book can garner you speaking opportunities. You can use it to speak on different platforms, to get on radio, podcasts, but you can use it as a tool to help you get in the room, to speak, to talk about the subject that you're talking about, or to be a part of a larger global organization. And your book is just one part or one component for an overall goal that this organization has. Another way to do a spinoff from your book is to add a workbook to your book. So basically, another tool that can accompany your book, and you can teach someone something in your book. And so they would just go through the process, the different lessons that you have. Maybe you have a downloadable additional PDF for people that can accompany the book as well to help them on their journey. Sometimes, people want to add something to their book, like a doll. Like, say, for instance, you have a children's book. You can add a doll or a character to the book to be sold in addition. So maybe there's different characters in the book, and so you would just keep adding a character as you went along, so people have a choice of which character they'd like to purchase, and you can take those characters with you to events. And so if they don't purchase the book, maybe they'll purchase the character. Another way to have what I call a spin-off from your book would be to join a group that is talking about what you're talking about in your book. So I always use therapy or therapists as an example, and your book is about mental health. Then maybe you would want to join those groups where they're talking about that. And basically, you just want to be the expert in the group, and then you just so happen to have a book. You're not really pushing your book on the group. You're there to teach and to offer your expertise, guidance, and that kind of thing. And then, book sales will come eventually, but this is a way for you to get known and maybe make more sales, but you're not pushing it. You're just there. Another spinoff for your book would be to volunteer to teach from your book. So I always say that what lesson are people learning from your book? And so if you can teach someone something from your book, you say, "Hey, I have this book and I'd like to share it, and then this is what it will be teaching people. This is what the attendees at this event will gain from me speaking and using this book in addition to that." Right? And then if you have a workbook in addition to that, that would be great as well. But volunteering to do this will help you greatly. Another spinoff that you can do is to develop a course to go with your book. So, it can accompany the course, and in the course, you would use the book in each chapter. Maybe you'd go through each chapter, and that would be a portion of the course. That would be a module. So, chapter one would be module one, and then you would have videos, and then you would reference back to your book for the participants in your course or your class. Another thing that you can do as a spinoff for your book would be to write a screenplay or a script for a movie or a stage play. Your book is a great story and it needs to be told. You've told it, but how about people seeing it live and in person, in action, on the big screen or on a stage? Another way to have a spinoff from your book is to, if you have, let's say you have a coloring book and you can't think of anything else to do with the coloring book, you can make greeting cards and you can color in those pictures. So the same pictures that you have for the coloring book can be greeting cards, they can be postcards, things like that. So you use the same art, you just use it in a different way. And then basically, this is just a spin-off from your original coloring book. Another thing that you might want to do to add to your book as a spinoff would be to make a card deck. And this would be like maybe a game that you'd have to accompany your book, right? So, some of the questions that people might be asking in the book, you might want to put those on cards, and that triggers conversation for a group setting. Maybe, you invite friends over and they're having dinner, and you can pull out this card deck, and then it references back to the book. And then that group maybe will purchase your book, and then they in turn would buy their own deck for their other groups of friends. Another way to have a spinoff from your book, say, for example, you've written a book that is for people who are pet owners. You may want to partner with someone who has products for pets. And it could be anything. It could be food. It could be some type of healthy additional nutritional item that you can purchase at the pet store. So you would partner with them and say, hey, I have this book, and then put it with that person's product. And then maybe you would go to events together, and then you're both benefiting from this event by your products.